don't care what the fuck is you talking. Instagram was a gunshot for posing. I got the Batman, I'm not joking. I put you on, I be that poison be poking.
Hey yo, what's up guys, it's me the Great What If, back in another video, and this is What If Deku Was a Blind Swordsman Part 6. Now, again, I always say this to every video, but for real, I love each and every one of you. The support that we're getting is just fucking immense, and I'm slowly turning into fucking Super Saiyan God at this point. Like, all of you are just sharing this a buttload of energy, and I'm just sucking it all up. No homo. And just getting all of this support and just love and attention from you guys, and that's from a creator, what I love from you guys. All right, I love in each and every one of you. No homo. Anyways, and I want to thank you all for 6K. Holy shit, we have finally reached it, boys. All right, now listen. All right. The 6K special is going to come out very soon, alright? I already showed you guys what the 6K special is going to be. Only you guys from my community know that. No one else. Alright? If you're not subscribed already, if you're having second thoughts on subscribing, don't just give in. Press that big red button. Why did I say it like that? I'm fucking weird, but whatever. Look, alright? Just press it. That's all you have to do. Just one click. If you don't, please, I'm literally begging you. We have, finally reached 6K, and I am just happy. Out of my mind right now. And I'm currently recording this at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't really give a shit because I'm trying to make this an hour-long video. That's my goal right now. Anyways, I have probably ranted on long enough. The 6K special will be coming out very soon. Hope you guys like it as much as I do. And also, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Like if you like it, dislike it in your channel. Welcome. And let's get right into it, ladies and gents. So we're going to backtrack before Izuku actually heads towards UA. Now, Izuku will wake up normally thanks to his alarm on his phone telling him that school is about to begin. And he should probably get his ass up from his bed and go to UA. As he gets up, he puts on his, the picture that you see right here, his Komodo and his basic stuff that he usually wears. Remember, I told you guys that he's not gonna wear no suit and tie, not that shit. No. Sure, wearing that uniform will represent where he's from, from UA and all, but still, the uniform that he's wearing represents how hard working Izuku is and how he worked with his mother, and this uniform especially was given to him by his mother. Alright, this defines him of who he really is. Now, enough of me preaching from Izuku. Izuku gets up, he makes his morning breakfast, just coffee and basic eggs, bacon and all. Sure, he can cook, alright. He's blind and all, but still, he can cook, alright. Even though it's burnt, but still, it's still food or whatever. As he, drinks his cup of coffee, his eggs and bacon, stylish and all. And he then grabs his mother's sword and, puts on some sandals and all. And puts on his mask. Now, here's the mask again, alright. I'm showing this again, a shogun-like mask, or like a devilish mask, or whatever you can say. As Izuku puts it on, and he can hear the voice again, saying, "Where would you like to go?" As Izuku would say, UA College, please. And the voice seems to configure itself and say, well, turn this direction, turn to left, or right, and then go forward a couple miles. As Izuku just nods, saying, thank you. As he would grab his backpack and all, puts it on. He has a backpack, alright? He's not going empty-handed. Why did I say hand? Empty-handed. And begins to descend towards UA. As he begins to jump through building, people are just looking at him weird, saying, is that a kid or a villain? Or who is he? and Izuku would just ignore them. He knows for a fact that the devilish mask will look him, well, sort of like a villain, but still, it was a gift from his master, and he would appreciate it until his death. Hopefully that he will croak soon, but whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. As Izuku would just start to head towards UA, and he could just hear the birds tweeting in the distance, and the cicadas waking up and making a zzz, whatever sound. And Izuku could just feel the warm breeze cover him. It was a feeling that he has never felt, well, not really much felt before. It was calming and peaceful until he can hear other students talking. As Izuku begins to walk normally towards, well, as he passes the UA, what's called, gate, entrance, he begins to walk towards, well, the front of the place and everything, making his way up. He could hear all the students or people around him talking, just whispering about him, saying, Is that a villain? Should we call the police? I don't know. The whole security could have, been triggered if he is actually a villain. And why is he wearing that mask? I don't know, he looks weird. As Izuku would just hear these whispers all over and over again. But again, Izuku would just flat out ignore it. As he opens, the voice, turns off. As Izuku would just feel his descent, knowing where he knows exactly where he needs to go. That's all I'm going to say, just because of plot. And he, could feel this large, thick door. And as he puts his hand right on top and slides it down, just feeling the door, he could tell that it's very large. And he could feel the letters as well. As he opens up the door, he could hear shouting. And, he thinks to himself, Really, Kachan, are you really yelling at this early in the morning? As he's thinking in his mind, and he could hear Bakugo yelling at someone, saying, Huh? What the hell did you just say to me, Four Eyes? As the person would just respond saying, Well, you're not supposed to put your stinking feet on top of the desk. This is UA, alright? I don't know where slums you've been growing up, but this is a prestigious school that you can't just put your filthy feet on top of. Sorry. As Bakugo would just look at him saying, Huh? Were you born with a stick up your ass, or were you just... sorry, I messed that one up. Were you born with a stick up your ass? Sorry, I messed that one up. Wait, how does the saying go? Fuck, I forgot it. Did your old school put a stick up your ass, or were you just born with it? There you go. Finally, I've been... again, it's 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and I need sleep. But whatever. As Ito will respond saying, the profanity. Do you have anything to say for yourself? As if Baku would just look at him saying, silver spoon looking ass. And Ida, for a fact his four-eyed bastard Ia, had enough of it. As he went for a chop on Bakugo's head, Izuku flash steps right in front of Ida and grabs his arm right as he about to, hit Bakugo. As Ida would turn his head, looking at the person who's holding his hand, and sees the devilish mask, as he begins to shiver again. How did you... And Izuku would just turn his direction towards his face. His eye begins to glow and glow. Have you seen what's called the Goblin Slayer and how his helmet glows bright red and just flares up? That's how Izuku be looking, bro. He been looking fucking terrifying. Oof. Ida was about to piss his pants once he saw him. And Baku would just say, Oi, Izuku, let go of him. And Izuku would look towards the direction of Baku saying, he was about to hurt you. I'm not gonna let him hurt my friend. And Bakugo would just tisk and says, so we're friends, huh? As Izuku would just let go and just looks at Bakugo saying, "What do you mean? We were always friends." And Bakugo would just look at him and shout at him saying, "We were never friends, damn it!" What about all the times that we've been talking at, high school, huh? Did you consider us as friends? When we always want to talk to you, but you just flat out ignore us? What about Kendo? Whenever she asks you, whatever, to go hang out, you consider her as a friend, right? As Zuko would just stay silent. As Bakugo would respond saying, "Well, every time when she asks you out, or asks to at least hang out with you, you just say no. Huh? Respond, damn it! Don't give me the damn silent treatment. How dare you say we're friends?" Cocky bastard. As Izuku would just get a little bit sad. What Bakugo is saying is true. He has been always training and training and training, but he has never, ever even had the chance to play or hang out with Bakugo or Kendo, even though she asked so many times. Izuku would just respond saying no, or he's training. Izuku would feel bad. But then again, he will light up and says, "Where's Kendo?" And then Baku would just look at him saying, "Huh? Kendo isn't in this class, idiot. She's in class 1B. See? You can't even listen to her, can't you?" As Izuku would try to remember if Kendo even said that, or even said what her class is. As Izuku would just apologize to Bakugo and go back on his, try to find a seat, and found a seat right behind Bakugo. And yeah, as Izuku would just sit down and just sit there quietly, as he then hears another girl coming on the door and saying, "Is this really Class 1B? Man, it's a lot more roomier than I expected." As this girl is called, Raka. As she just walks in and just sees Izuku. And she's thinking in her mind, "Is that the kid? No. Is that the guy who saved me?" I'm not surprised that he's in this class, but why? I thought everyone would just see him as a villain with that mask. Whatever. As Izuku would just be silent, with his arms crossed and his mother's sword on top of his desk. As Ida would just try to find a reason to, call out Deku or Izuku for some reason. And then he looks at the sword. As Ida would just walk towards Izuku's, desk and says, "You know you're not allowed to bring weapons to school, right?" And Izuku says, "Well, I don't really, see any rules about that." And Ida would just say, "You fool! Of course there's a rule saying you can't bring weapons to school. Can you not read at all?" As Zuko would respond saying, "Actually, I can't." "Huh? What the hell do you mean by that? Of course everyone can read." As Zuko would just sigh and says, "You're so naive, aren't you?" As Ida would just stare down on him saying, "Why, you little..." "Enough!" As Aizawa would just spring out from behind the desk, and Ida would just say, "Who the hell are you?" And Aizawa would respond saying, "You're fucking daddy. Now sit the fuck down before I slap the bitch out of you." And Ida was a fucking eyes wide saying, "You can't talk to me like that." As Aizawa would just activate his quirk and says, yeah, I can talk however the fuck I want. Alright? So sit your cutie patootie ass down before I smack it, you delinquent. As Ida would just stomp his way towards his desk saying, I'm not a fucking delinquent. I'm better than all of you. And as Momoyara Rose is just, flaring her hair saying, so many people here are poor. Ugh. And yes, I'm making Class 1A a little bit different, alright? I'm gonna make it so hateable that Izuku just wish that he was in Class 1B, alright? If you guys don't like it, suck it up. Anyways, as Aizawa would just say, alright, enough of this. Hit the lockers. We're going outside. As Uraraka, will get up from her desk saying, aren't we going to the presentation first? And Aizawa would just look at her saying, well, a true hero doesn't sit down and listen to things, alright? They get right into it. So get your asses up and go to the locker. Make sure you change as well. No, that's why locker and everything. As Izuku would just get up and just, well, he doesn't really want to wear anything from it, but he'll give the whole gym uniform a try, I guess. As Izuku would just get up and just continue walking towards the locker room. As a couple of students would just rant back at Aizawa saying, you can't do that. Isn't it your priority to support us students? And Aizawa just scratching the back of his head saying, what a bunch of fucking crybabies. At least this kid is better than all these wimps. And, Bakugo would just get up, tisking and just going to the locker room. And slowly and surely, everyone would just go to the locker room. And Aizawa was just saying, what is the best motivating way to move these students faster? I know, I should put a live grenade here. Yeah, that should get them up and at it. Man, I really need coffee. As everyone started to head towards the locker rooms, Izuku would just get there first, then later Bakugo and a couple other students as well, such as Shiro Todoroki, Denki, Kirishima, and many more that I kind of forget. As Izuku would just, not really much strip. As everyone, started to change and everything, and all of them just look at Izuku saying, aren't you gonna change? Kirishima would respond, say to Deku or Izuku, you're supposed to change here, right? And Izuku would just say, yeah, I guess. They're gonna know it either way. As he begins to remove his Komodo, and everyone, and I mean everyone, Ida, Denki, Kaminari, Bakugo, Todoroki, everyone peers on Izuku's muscles and sees how many scars he has all over his body. And when I said he was training, I mean he was ruefully training with his own master, alright, the number 10 hero. They don't play around, alright? They strike each other. They cut each other. They make scars that last long, alright? Izuku has been through hell. His body is an example of that. As Kirishima would just say, whoa, you have so many scars. Are you... And Bakugo would just look at Izuku and his whole body, saying, is... Deku? As Izuku would just quickly put on a shirt and everything, and says, I'm going. As he grabs his mother's sword, I remember he went to the locker room, he grabbed his mother's sword, and just went. As he grabs his mother's sword and continues on walking off, as he was about to get out the door, he senses a perverted little minion. As he turns the direction where this aura is coming around, or this foul aura is coming from, he then grabs the head of Mineta, who is seemingly peering through a hole. As Mineta is just trying to get away from Izuku, saying, let go of me, you little... As Mineta slowly looks at not Bakugo, Izuku's face. He's covering himself with the mask. He still has the mask, remember. And he is upright, pale white. He is terrified, saying, "Ah, a monster! Holy shit! Ah." And Izuku would just look at him and says, "Look, you know it's not nice to peer into other girls' room, alright? Do I need to make an example of that to those who happens to disrespect or even look at another woman's body without their permission? Permission, little grape." As he continues to slowly crush his skull, and the Mineta is like, no, I'm sorry, I promise I won't look, I promise. And, as Zuko just lets go of Mineta and just walks off, and everyone's just like, whoa, who is this kid? Who is this guy? And be mindful, the girls have been looking through the people, alright? And they've seen Izuku's whole body and how ripped and how scarred it is. And the girls there, especially Momoya Rozu and Uraka and Froppy, they be hitting the swimming pool, if you get what I'm saying. And the invisible girl, I think her name was Cora. I always forget her fucking name. I don't know why. Alright. The invisible girl, alright. She'll be showing a little bit more of herself, if you get what I'm saying. And all of them want Izuku. Alright, just looking at his appearance. But then again, some of the girls are talking over each other. Jiro saying, well, I know he has a good bod and everything, but still, he has that scary mask. And, Momo would just respond saying, maybe he might have a cute face under that. And Uraka would just say, or a hideous one, as they all just begin to laugh. As Izuku begins to walk outside, Bakugo would just follow behind and kind of get sad. Because, sure, he did say all that stuff, saying that he's not his friend and everything, Bakugo was, in the right, but now that seeing Izuku and his whole body, seeing how scarred it is and how hard he's been working, it felt wrong to say all that stuff to him. He felt a little bit down, but hey, he's not gonna just peer into the past. No, he has to keep on moving forward. As Izuku would just walk out, and slowly everyone would start walking out, and Aizawa would hold a ball and look at Bakugo and say, "What was your highest ball throw in middle school?" And Bakugo would just say, I guess 20 meters, without using my quirk at all. And Aizawa would just throw him the ball, saying, "Well, throw it. I want to see how much you improve over the years while using your quirk." And be mindful, Izuku's holding onto his sword. All right, he's not gonna put it in his room or put it in the friggin' classroom door. No, he's bringing it everywhere with him. As Bakugo would just charge up with this huge ball of just explosion, but with a hint of lightning. Izuku was feeling Bakugo's aura, and it was completely different. Like something was transplanted. Like something happened to Bakugo on the day on the entrance exam, and he didn't know why. And he did, look into it just a little bit, but he could see that he's not using that part of his quirk, or is like something unlocked. Izuku's trying to find out what's going on with Bakugo. This is not his usual quirk, his usual aura. It's quite more immense and different, but in a completely powerful way. But hey, he's probably just overthinking this. Or is he? As Baku would just throw it and get all the way to 1,000 meters. And Aizawa was like impressed, saying, "Wow, damn, you have 1,000 meters." And Baku would just look at Zugu saying, "Ha, beat that, nerd." And Aizawa would just throw the ball at Izuku, saying, "Alright, you're next." As Izuku would walk towards this, where this whole place is, and Aizawa would just look at Izuku and his up and down and look at his sword, saying, "Kid, you're not allowed to use that." As Izuku would just say, "Use what? My sword?" And Aizawa says, "Yeah, you're not allowed to use that. You only use your strength and your quirk." And Izuku would just, say, "Okay, could you hold on to this for a while?" And Aizawa says, "Sure, I guess." As Izuku would just hand it towards Aizawa. And Aizawa, as he's holding onto the sword, could feel the immense aura that Izuku was letting out. He is scared. I mean, this purplish, devilish aura is coming out of Izuku while Izuku's holding onto the sword. And Aizawa just looks into him and sees a giant demon just peering right out of him. He is scared, alright? It's like Izuku's just looking at, just like his body language, just saying, if you make even a little bit of a dent or scratch on the sword, your head is going to be on a pike. That's the whole game that Aizawa was just feeling, and this immense aura is coming out. And Aizawa is just fucking terrified. He's just fucking terrified. That's all I have to say. As Izuku would just, go back to his post and just wind up just a little bit. And he begins to, hold on to the ball. His body begins to, kind of mutate in a way. Veins popping out. And Aizawa could notice this and feel the immense aura that's just letting out. Izuku winds up and throws it as hard as he can. And Aizawa checks the score and is over 9,000! Nah, it's just at least 8,000 meters. And Aizawa's fucking impressed. He looks down and just sees it and says, "Holy shit." And Izuku's just looking down and just feels his hand and looks towards Aizawa's direction and says, "Did you cancel my quirk midway?" And Aizawa says, "You noticed?" "Yeah, because I know for a fact if I did it full force, I could have made a huge ass crater on the ground." And Aizawa just says, "Oh God, okay. I guess I can give you a redo if you want." And Izuku says, "No, I'm fine with this score." As Bakugo would just rush at Izuku with a huge explosion on his hand, saying, "Deku, how the hell did you get so strong?" And Aizawa would just wrap Bakugo in this scarf. And he will cancel Bakugo's quirk. And Bakugo's just saying, "What the hell is this scarf made out of?" And Aizawa says, "Know your place, boy." And will take down Bakugo. All Might, who's in the back, saying, "Oh my god, Bakugo, you should not have done that." And Izuku would just walk past Bakugo and not even answering his question. And, throughout the whole test, he will get a perfect score throughout. Well, except for the ball throw, because Uraka got infinity. Alright, you can't beat that. And throughout he got, so far, first place. Bakugo will get second place. Uraka will get third place. And yada yada, more and more or less. As the school ends, the whole school ends, Izuku would just walk home, normally. Uraka and Ida will walk up to Izuku, saying, "Do you want to walk together?" And Izuku just, he thinks about it for a second and says, "Mom would like me to have some friends, even though they are trash and literal garbage. Whatever. I guess I can just let them hang out for a while." As Izuku just reluctantly say, "Fine, but only for a while. I don't want my scent to be stenched up with garbage." as Ida would just profusely yell at Izuku saying, "Are you serious? The profanity that you're letting out. The..." And all three of them would just walk together. Izuku's holding onto his mother's sword, and Uraraka would just say, "Why are you carrying that weapon? I mean, isn't it illegal to bring that to school?" And Izuku would just respond saying, "I don't really care, alright? If you have a problem with that, feel free to say it." And Uraraka would just say, no, I don't mean anything in offense like that." And Izuku would just respond saying, "Good, now keep it that way." As he would just walk home by himself at this point. Now, the next day, Izuku, walk up to school and everything stylish and all, normal and everything. He would just sit down normal in class, and Aizawa, will say what they're gonna do today until Izuku could hear, thumping of, sorry, footsteps just thumping on the ground. I don't know how to say it, alright? I have a lisp or something, whatever, I don't know. As he could just hear loud bangs of footsteps just running towards their classroom, and Izuku just says, "Oh, where did I hear this before?" And All Might would appear saying, "I am here, like a true hero would, yada yada, yay." And everyone would just say, "All Might! Holy shit, the number one hero is here!" And All Might would just say, no, actually, Aizawa would just respond saying, "The number one hero here would be a teacher at UA." And everyone just saying, "Wow, All Might's gonna be a teacher? This semester is gonna be awesome!" And Izuku would just ignore everyone and just stick to himself. Baku is not making a big ass deal or anything. Izuku's just being with himself, silent. And All Might would just say, "Well, students, it's time for a little, kind of like a training exercise for you guys." And everyone would just say, "Training? It's time for you guys to participate in a hero versus villains activity. It's gonna be fun." As everyone just saying, "Oh, okay, I guess so." And Izuku would think about it for a second, saying, "Heroes versus villains, huh? Sounds fun." Sorry, my maniacal laugh sucks dick, alright? Don't blame me, don't roast me in the comments for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I do. I hope this is 1 hour long, alright? I haven't checked or anything. And yeah, enough of me. I'll see you all later. Bye.